everyone. My name is Michael, and I'm speaking to you from the verse. Now, if you're not sure what the verse is, I invite you to go to my website at rewritingtheverse.com, and that's where you can find out all about the verse, and there are many updates on there. All of the YouTube videos are on there, so please go check it out. So this video is connected to the upcoming 1/1/2021 portal. And I just got a major download. I've been waiting for something to come through so that I could record something for it. I just got a major download that's going to, well, make it much more interesting than I originally thought this portal was going to be about. So I do past life regressions and rewrites. That is a part of my skill set. And up until this last month, I've been doing that pretty regularly for all the portals. However, this is also going to be a different kind of video today. We will not be doing a formal rewrite of any kind of timeline, although we will be impacting timelines for sure by what we're going to do today. In fact, I'm here in the US in Central Time, and so at 1:11 p.m. I will be doing something live with you here right at that time, which technically there's only about 20 minutes or so before that time hits. We'll be doing something together that is connected not just to the 1/1/2021 portal, but it's definitely it's occurring now as a result of all the work we've done, especially this last month. A lot of timeline adjustments, a lot of clearing so much for everybody on the planet. This is not just, a certain group. Although I'm going to say again, this affects the twin flames and the divine masculine, divine feminines very much. They have played key roles in many of the significant times in history. And once again, this is going to be connected to them. So, yeah. So I'll tell you what just came in as a download, and I do have to stay appraised of what time it is, so we'll be conscious when 1:11 p.m. happens. I saw the numbers 111 pretty much back to back, which is usually all about new beginnings, and of course we're coming up on this portal in a few days, and so I thought, well, it has to do with that, I'm sure. And I have been feeling, especially over the last couple weeks, that we are about to be allowed to finally get into some solid footing on the other side of this gate. If you have had a little bit of a inkling or a light at the end of the tunnel, especially in the last few weeks, I have finally experienced that myself. There are new potential, a new timeline especially that wasn't there before maybe a month or so ago. Anyway, I feel like that is on the other side of this portal. However, there's more to it than that. A lot more to it than that. If you have heard about the planet Maldek, Maldek, and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about, but for those of you that have not heard of that, Maldek was a massive planet in this solar system. It would have been the third largest, I believe, or within the top three, let's just say. I know it wasn't as big as Jupiter, but it could have been the size of Saturn or maybe even a little bigger, but it was definitely in the top three as far as largest planets. It is, the remnants of it is the asteroid belt. You can look up online, there are different people that have talked about this, and I've been aware of this for many years. Done a lot to try to heal that timeline in the past, not so much present, but I knew that it was something that us here on this planet especially have been feeling the impact of the destruction of that planet. Because many of us, if not all of us, are refugees from that original destruction. Now, we may have stopped along on Mars. Many of us did, before ultimately making it to planet Earth, but still. And the timeline I've been given connected to the destruction of Maldek is approximately 750,000 years ago. So it's been a long time. And a lot's happened since then, but considering the amount of trauma that the entire solar system, and I'm getting it, it's certainly reverberated out throughout the cosmos. It was a huge, huge scar. Wound, actually, that may have never really healed. And this, I believe, is the main energy we have felt all year long. And I'm going to say more than just when the current threat was made more visible in maybe February or March of last year. Well, technically still this year. Now, I'm going to say at least November, over a year ago, is when I at least first felt the dread. The feeling of absolute destruction. I felt it very strongly. And I have not been able to shake it. Not fully. Despite having some moments of hope here and there, and you know, whatever has occurred over this last year, no, it's been there the entire time. And especially in the last few months, it truly felt like there was no way out. That within the next few months after 2021 began, that was going to, something big was about to happen. And I couldn't figure out how to get off of that timeline. Even though, yes, I did jump the timeline. We did it together, I don't know, a few videos ago, maybe a month and a half ago. I can't remember exactly the date anymore. But, which gave us an opportunity to develop something different. But that dread has still been there. It still is there right now. Because that outcome is still a possibility. However, I do know that we gave ourselves the opportunity to do something different. So, we check the time again. Okay, we've got little, maybe 15 minutes or something. Okay, what I was told, it wasn't, when I saw that one, I'm just going to say 111, when I saw that this morning, of course, new beginnings, that makes sense. We're coming up on a new year, one that hopefully was going to be better than what we've been in this whole last year. But no. The alignment for the solstice that happened just, what, less than 10 days ago or so, that was a massive alignment. Not only was it the solstice, but I think they call it the grand or great, actually maybe it's great conjunction of Saturn and Jupiter aligning perfectly, pretty much, with the solstice, was a huge gate, huge, a part of the reason why we even have an alternate outcome to this timeline. That was huge. But there's something that, unless the astrologers out there calculate this in because of their knowing of this piece, they don't even realize why that portal, and actually even today, is going to be so significant. And that is, I believe this is the anniversary date of the destruction of Maldek. So, since there's still such a tight conjunction occurring between Saturn and Jupiter, what I'm being told is the third one in the 3 in the 111 is Maldek. Surprise! Surprise! I just got that. Just like literally an hour or so ago. Okay? there have been studies, and believe me, I am not an expert on any of the science behind this, but I do know that when I have heard about these few things, I believe it's the truth. I feel it. There are studies that have been done with DNA, actually, that if you have a DNA strand in a certain position and it is removed, so literally the physicalness of that DNA has moved, there is an essence of that DNA still there. In fact, I think this is one of the things they connect the phantom limb, if you've lost an appendage or whatever, that you can still feel it. It's because it literally, on a vibrational level at least, is still there. So what I'm saying, what I've been told just in the last hour, is Maldek is still there. Its original essence is still there, despite the fact that its physicalness is spread out in a massive orbit around the sun. Maldek exists, be it only on a vibrational level, but still very much real. And that I'm being told at 1:11 p.m. Central Time, it will be in perfect alignment with Saturn and Jupiter. And being that it is the closest planet to us, it makes perfect sense what's about to happen. People, obviously most people, including astrologers, don't even realize about this alignment and why. And we were already feeling it, certainly back in on the 21st, on the solstice. But no, this is coming in now, literally within a couple days of the first of 1/1/2021 portal. We will be riding the energy into that portal with the full knowledge. Oh yeah, Maldek exists. And for many of us, if not all of us on this planet, we're there. We were there for the destruction. And somewhere or another, aspects of our soul were there. We felt it. I think there was just a flash of light right there. We felt it. We've been feeling it all year. We've been feeling the dread leading up to this moment, this anniversary, grand anniversary of Maldek's destruction. And what I'm being told and witnessing today, I never really looked that closely into what Maldek was like, even though I knew about it a long time ago. I never really looked at, well, what was it like physically, what types of beings were there. I didn't really do that. But today, right now, I can tell you it was beautiful. And it was very high vibrating. Very high vibrating. And it was massive, physically massive. So there were a lot of beings on that planet. I get that it was maybe garden-like. I feel like it had a lot of different variations of animals that, because it was so lush and gardenous, and it was I'm just getting right now, a planet of creation. And there were a lot of light beings there. Or at least beings that, okay, I have to be careful with the light and dark references, because even the dark can be positive. Okay, so I don't want to pigeonhole anybody, but beings that were all about progression of the soul of humanity. They were humanoid. We were humanoid. Most of us anyway there. Whatever species you were there of humanoid beings, there were many. And we were able to live peacefully in a lot of ways. However, as much as we were flourishing there, we also, 10 minutes, we also had the darkness, and this is the darkness, the ones that weren't wanting progression for humanity, especially, and any other beings for that matter. Yes, they were there too. Our nemesis. They're always there. They're always attracted to our light, or whatever that high vibration is. And so, yeah, it wasn't total peace there, and we had that dark element trying to, if not control, once again, I think it comes down to control. If they can't control us and have us do their bidding, well, then they're going to kill us off. I mean, that's pretty much their go-to when they can't get their way, which is exactly what's happening on this planet right now. This threat from this last year, which I believe actually, and I've seen it written a few times, but it wasn't put into the system, and yes, it was intentionally created. This I have no doubt, and I'm being guided that that's the case. This is a man-made or other-made, not a naturally occurring phenomenon, with the intent to destroy, either control or destroy, whatever it takes, but to keep us in a prison. We've been on a prison planet. The problem is we're about to get out. I do believe this upcoming portal is, the doors are wide open, basically, for us to walk out. Those that want to, anyway, that are ready to. It's time for us to fly, and to finally be able to ascend up the ladder that we were always meant to, but were kept from these disasters and other ways that they have kept our vibration low. So that's the energy we've been feeling all last year. This kind of thing has happened over and over throughout history of this planet, Earth, obviously other planets, and other times. This battle's been going on forever. But it's time for it to end. We can't fully ascend, at least the beings on this planet, can't fully ascend as long as we're in a lock cage. It just isn't. And this is what's being done right now to lock us down. Okay, one of the other things that I read, literally as this download was coming in, was Britain, as of today, like sometime today, they released this information. I know there's multiple vaccines out there being developed or already been developed, but they have announced that they have a vaccine. And because it's just so amazing in various ways, I guess, they're calling it the vaccine for the world. Quote unquote. The vaccine for the world. I believe this is meant to be the final locking of the cage. They're already, that's ultimately what I got, that this is it. This is either going to be this is the day of, we either get out right now, basically, and we escape that timeline of them being able to totally trap us and destroy us, one way or the other, or we get to fly. It literally happens in about 6 minutes. We're flying out of this thing. But actually, we're not having to go anywhere physically, because what we're about to do, and so we're building up to the energy here. I'll tell you now what we're going to do at that time. So I already said that Maldek still exists in vibration at minimum. She still exists. And what I have been told actually is that she was, or is, if we're talking about it, it currently exists, is a higher version of Gaia. We talked about the new Earth. We call her Gaia, so I'm just going to call Maldek's version the planet that was totally destroyed. Her soul lives on, and it lives on here on Earth. Only this has been a a lower vibration of her. It's time for us to call in Maldek's version of her soul. You want to talk about a new earth? It's a new Maldek. And we are going to bring her vibrationally. In fact, she's already here. We feel her presence. This is the hope that started to trickle in over the last few weeks. We felt her presence. Oh, Gaia is about to ascend. And we're going with her. Ooh, I felt a lot of energy on speaking that. Whoa. Wow, okay. That's what needed to be spoken. Maldek is a higher vibration of Earth, of Gaia's soul and our souls. We were so much more advanced there. And I'm not just talking technology, although I'm sure that was going on too. No, I'm talking spiritually, vibrationally. That is where we're trying to get back to. And then build on that. But we have to get back to that level to be able to continue to ascend. And basically, it sounds like, as I'm putting two and two together here, that was the moment, that explosion, that destruction was the moment that our ascension really was halted. In fact, thrown back, maybe even vibrationally. But we're here again. We're on the brink of it. This, whether the really dark people know that this is what's going on, they probably don't. And by the time they see this, it'll be too late. They can't stop it. So this is a miraculous, I don't use that word very often, a miraculous occurring. So we've got less than 3 minutes here. A miraculous occurring on our planet right now. I feel Maldek. I feel that's just the distinction of a higher version of Gaia, basically. And then we're returning to the Garden of Eden at a whole other level right now. And everything that we were, all the knowings that we had, all the abilities that we had, that is what's about to be playing out on this earth. For those of us that had to go into hiding, there were a few that survived, that had to hold the hope, had to hold the energy until now. We've been trying to bring it back online many times and, got wherever we got, but we never got fully back to this place. Less than 2 minutes. So that's where we're going. And we're not physically having to go anywhere. Maldek is here. Maldek is surrounding us right now. The essence of who she was, who Gaia was, is here. And she will truly be the new Earth, the new Maldek. And this is our freedom. This is where we live and we create freely. Okay, less than a minute, so I'm going to quiet down now and hold the space. They're beginning to overlap right now. There's an overlay of the energy right now. Feel the lift. It's occurring right now. And it's happening right now. Right now, the shackles have been removed. The door has swung wide open. Wow. I knew you had to have heard that. Wow. That was thunder. We've had predictions of storms all day, but that's the first thunder. Wow. Talk about validation. Sorry. I didn't know I was going to be this emotional. Wow. So that's it. Maldek is here. Right here. Where our souls, who we've been trying to become again for 750,000 years. We're here. And this is who we are, who we've always been meant to be. And we will step powerfully through the 1/1/2021 portal in our full power, at least at the level that we were before the destruction of Maldek. Wow. We can finally find each other again, or at least know each other again. If we already know those people that were with us then, wonderful. We can see each other anew. But there are many that have not been able to come to us. Individuals and groups, pardon me. We couldn't come together because it was not safe. It wasn't safe. So now, wow, I'm sorry, that thunder thing really, woo, I love confirmations. I don't need them, but I love them. And that was huge, and it was loud enough for you to hear. There's no way you couldn't have heard that. Wow. Trying to see if there's anything else I need to say. If you're not aware of what Maldek is or know anything about that planet, again, there are references online that you can look up. But this is what I've been told. And so that's what I go by. But have I not been told but felt this energy all year long, since at least last November? Absolutely. That means you have felt it too. Whether you know anything about Maldek or not really doesn't matter. You remember your DNA that was absolutely destroyed. Remembered. Or for those of you that actually did survive, the pain of losing all those people. Just like this last year, we've already lost so many. They didn't need to die. They didn't, but they did. Because we were reliving a horrible timeline. So I wasn't obviously guided to try to heal it. I was open to doing a timeline, whatever. That's not what they guided me to do. But is this going to heal us in general? Are we going to finally be able to put that trauma to rest? Yes. So feel however you feel, especially in the next couple days. Just know that we were just activated right now to remember our purpose, why we were created. We were doing it on Maldek in those higher versions. Interesting, my computer's now acting up. That could have had a power surge behind it, or actually I don't need it anymore. Let me unplug it here or close it or something so it's not flashing. Oh, it stopped flashing. I'm sure that's actually part of the, not just that thunder, because it didn't start doing that until right now. Once again, verification, validation of what I'm saying. It's time. It's time to continue our work, to continue to ascend, to assist each other. Now that we have survived and dismantled what the dark side had in store for us. I don't feel the dread anymore. So I do think that there are things that everybody will probably have to do pretty quickly here to get themselves on whatever this new timeline is, fully. Because I felt anew, but I also felt very much still in the old one. Well, now we can fully, whatever trajectory we are on this new one, there's not death at the end of this road anymore. There's life, there's creation, there's hope. And there's the ability to manifest, is what I'm being told. We were stopped from being able to fully manifest not only what we're capable of, but what we're meant to do. Our destinies were cut short 750,000 years ago. And it's time to not start over. No, we're not going back to square one. We've retained all of the information, whether it's laying dormant or what. It's simply time to continue on and to ascend together. We will not be stopped. It's time to assemble again. We have been scattered to the winds. It's safe to come out now. It's safe to see you and the people you already know in their truest form, and yourself in your truest form. But for those that you haven't met yet, that has had to be hidden from each other, yeah, it's time to come together at a whole nother level. It's time to take our planet back. Planet Earth / Maldek. This is the new Earth. That's what I'm getting. Maldek was the vibration that our new Earth was heading. Because that's where Gaia was blocked in her ascension as well. So now we're all moving forward. The path has been cleared. So I'm being told to make sure I acknowledge everyone. Everyone on this planet, most likely, or most of them anyway, were there. In some form or another, you were there. Whether you perished in the initial explosion, you were physically there, or for those that were able to escape but had maybe survival's guilt and had to try to heal the loss of so many that were not fully successful. None of us were fully successful at healing that wound. And our solar system has held that energy the entire time. But Maldek will not be stopped. It wasn't stopped, even though it appeared to be. It looked like a decisive victory for the dark. And did it mark a very dark period of time that has stayed in place for a long time? Yes, it did. But Maldek, its essence, and the souls that were there, their essence, are very much alive and in physical form now. Maldek is now in physical form as well. Wow. So thank you to all that held the hope and helped share the weight of the wound for all this time. But we can now slough that off, take the next couple days and on through the weekend, I believe we need to honor our bodies, our minds, our souls. And then I say January is going to be a very interesting month as we begin to finally put into physical that which was held back for so long. Let us waste no time. So, thank you all. And by the way, not another sound of thunder since that one. But one was all we needed, apparently. Anyway, be safe. Enjoy this amazing portal that we're going through. And until next time, peace and joy.